Hi, I'm Quenita Walrond-Lewis, and I'm the Director of the National Center for Educational Resource Development, NCERD. Well, I am actually the newest member of the NCERD team. I've been in the post of director from October 1st of 2020. So this puts me at my fifth month. It's been a very exciting journey. Not many people know that I started my career actually in education in Guyana, right here at NCERD, where I revitalized the nursery education program and then cycled into project management on behalf of the ministry, still working very closely with all of the officers at NCERD, and now back as its director. I am, I guess, the ringmaster of a much larger circus of activity that really is for the innovation, the direction, the presence and guidance of strong pedagogical leadership and training for the education sector at large. NCERD is the innovation hub and center, really the nerve center and brainchild of the Ministry of Education, because we are responsible for in-service teacher education training, research, innovation in education practices, training in pedagogy. Anything that's new and exciting that hits our education sector comes out of NCERD. As the director of NCERD, it is my responsibility to make sure that all of the units and subunits are functioning effectively, we are functioning efficiently, and we are doing our best to really bring what's at the forefront of knowledge in assessment, because of course there are our measurement and evaluation units, there's the curriculum development unit, our materials production, distance education, multimedia, learning resources development. And it basically means that as the director, I'm at the helm of a ship that's responsible for a diverse plethora of activities in the education sector. And I just have to make sure that everything is done in a way that is seamless, coherent, and sends a very clear message to all of our education officers, educators, and eventually our principal beneficiaries, our students. I think the principal challenge, and I don't even want to consider it a challenge, I take it up more as a learning opportunity, is learning the inner machinations or workings of the Ministry of Education as a whole. Because in the project environment, as much as I was working very closely with agents and actors within the ministry, I wasn't necessarily beholden to the bureaucracy. And so that was an area of new learning and growth for me. In terms of other challenges, one of the main challenges here at NCERD is the fact that we are understaffed. If we're expecting the best for the service of a nation, then it means that we also need to employ the best. And of course, when I say employ the best, it also means that aspects according to remuneration and things like that need to be considered so that people feel like their contributions are being valued and are valid. So as the director of an agency where we understand the potential of what we can offer, and then trying to put systems in place to match that potential with its realistic unfolding. When you feel like you're shorthanded, it's almost like fighting with one hand tied behind your back. And we are all on this team very passionate and committed to every single aspect of our remit here at NCERD. So I think we collectively want the best for the agency. And to do that, we need other persons, more persons who are so joined in that commitment. Our approach to training and development has had to evolve. So this was one of those COVID blessings, because at this point in time, all of the officers of the agency have now had to realign and rethink the way that they approach training. So this means that we are all rapidly making ourselves very versed in the multiple modalities for that to occur. Because of course, you know, within Guyana, we have so many inter as well as intra-regional specificities as it comes to whether face-to-face is possible, whether connectivity is possible, if there's even the vehicle through the internet to make that happen. And so the officers have become very adept at adjusting and adapting to suit. For our educators within the hinterland regions, where it is possible, we do interact and interface with them online through many of the different platforms that are available. And for those that do not have that access, we are the ones that go into their communities and have those small cluster-based sessions so that we are respecting the COVID-19 guidelines, of course, because public health is paramount above all, but we still feel like the training mandate cannot cease. So we make ourselves part of a very iterative process that's responsive to the different needs of different communities. Before I was the director of NCERD, I was also a classroom teacher and teacher educator. So for me, the one thing I would do to advance teacher training is to encourage other teachers to see themselves as mini researchers, as action researchers, because when you put yourself into the mindset of a researcher, it means that you're asking thoughtful questions and are very invested in the answer. And when you're asking questions and attempting to answer them in a scientific way, it makes you more focused on your data, which of course is derived from your students, which means that you're paying more attention to your students in a meaningful and significant and impactful way. Led by our national SEN coordinator, Ms. Savvy Hopkinson, the SEN team has been very dynamic and very responsive in these really virulent times for a population of children who it would be so easy to not necessarily think about as a priority where education is concerned. The team has really, in an agile way, adapted to COVID-19, where they have been providing homeschooling delivery for the children, where they've been working with parents to empower them during this time to work with their children. There's been the provisioning of tablets with special education needs derived software. There have been online courses and classes around mental health, sign language, a whole plethora of development activities for all those who impact the educational sphere for the child with special education needs. So they have been working with the children and their parents and their caregivers and their educators. So the team has been extremely dynamic and responsive in this time, and I'm exceedingly proud of the work they've done on our behalf. At the heart of it all, NCERD should be the crown jewel in the Ministry of Education's crown, the principal jewel. This is where we are going to see a television station, not just a learning channel, but a television station dedicated to education and educational programming that reaches the length and breadth of this country, irrespective of geography or rural or urban setting. We are going to be the beacon and hallmark for training and development around the region, because we've just launched our Moodle platform. We have our first educational leadership course that is going to start on Monday, actually, online. So this is going to be our first online course offering, first of many, because I know the other officers within the curriculum units are also excited about the prospect of being able to transmit their training that way. Because, of course, if you think about the economics of it, it saves money. The courses can be asynchronous, so it happens on the teacher's time. You're not robbing children of contact time within the school day, so that they could come out for training. It's something that really frees the system to build capacity within and without of the classroom, you know? And so I'm excited about that. I also see infrastructural changes in our setup. Spoiler alert, I'm hoping that we can modernize and revolutionize our building, beginning with our internet. Next week, we go to fiber optic internet, you know? So the progress for the short, medium, and even the long term has a very big vision, big picture for NCERD, where we are properly staffed, where we have teams that are exceedingly motivated to continue to do good work, where we are all going to become published authors, because we're going to be thought leaders in the work that we do, and everything is going to be empirically based. So I have big plans for NCERD. I'm excited for the ride. NCERD, as much as we are the nerve center of the ministry, we are also the hub of strategic partnerships certainly we are responsible for in-service teacher capacity building and training, but collaboration with our sister institution, the Sarapata College of Education, is exceedingly important to me as a director and for us as an agency and a ministry at large. Because if there is a singularity of the message in terms of pedagogy and methodology within the classroom sphere, then we can hope to create better impact for our learners. So collaborations with the Sarapata College of Education, strengthening and continuing that partnership is important. With our projects and our project units, NCERD is usually the driver or activity managers for those collaborations. So it is always a good thing when we can find new and innovative ways to inject technical expertise or even financing within the system so that we could drive our long-term goals. And the Education Strategic Plan as it is, our new strategic plan, is so robust, and NCERD has such a vital role to play in its unfolding that these collaborative missions are necessary. And even with our private sector here in Guyana, there are so many opportunities for people to do good community development work. And our officers here at NCERD are also poised to deliver that effort once our private sector partners come on board. This could be in the form of sponsoring segments on our learning channel. It could be adopting schools within our system to help to build our technological infrastructure at schools. It could be in training if there's a specific skill set for industries, for example, oil and gas. Working through the officers at NCERD may be a good way to get that good message and teaching and learning out. Partnerships with the University of Guyana are also very clear possibilities. So I think that collaboration in this season of progress is so needed and so vital. And I think that is an important thing that I'd want to deliver, that we are open for collaboration.